Last time we talked about boots. Now we're going to talk about clothes and what I'm calling my integrated clothing system, for lack of a better term. And it's really simple. I don't want a bunch of different clothes for everything I do. So I don't want clothes for walking and clothes for hiking and clothes for work and clothes for hunting and clothes for fishing and clothes for church and clothes for going out to eat in the evening and on and on and on. And you understand what I'm talking about here. I want one set of clothes that I can do just about everything in. Okay, and I want it as a system so that I can then integrate specific things into the system. Okay, and it's actually a lot simpler than that sounded. Okay, just normal clothes. What I wear. I'm going to wear khaki carpenter pants. I'm going to wear an undershirt, which is a Henley in my case. It could be a t-shirt, whatever. All right, that's what I'm wearing 90% of the time. It's really hot outside summer, I'm wearing shorts. Okay, if it's cold, and this is layers, is all this is. It's just simple, basic layering. Okay, if it's cool outside, I'm going to wear a flannel shirt over my undershirt. Okay, if it's cold, fleece. If it's raining, snowing, miserable cold, I'm going to wear a hooded shell over the fleece, over the insulating layer. If I'm going to be outside all day and it's miserable cold, I'm going to wear a base layer, which are just long johns, long underwear, insulated underwear, whatever you want to call it. And if it's really miserable outside, I'll put on an insulated pair of bibs over my pants to wear with the rest of this. And I'm pretty much set for anything right there. And this is pretty much functional for just about everything. Okay, the carpenter pants. These do not look horrible at work. Actually, they look pretty good and a lot better than what most people wear. And I mean, I can do just about anything in them. They're great for almost all of the activities I just named. They're very functional, even church. And I've always thought it's very appropriate to wear carpenter pants to church. Okay, so now for my undershirt. I wear a Henley. Okay, no collar. It's just a t-shirt with buttons in the front. And these were originally designed to be an undershirt and worn as undershirts. It's basically a t-shirt, but I can unbutton it in the summertime when it's hot outside and get a little air going through there. And because there's no collar, I can put a flannel shirt on right over it. Collar's not in the way. Okay, and then flannel shirt. When is a flannel shirt not appropriate in cold weather? Okay. Fleece. Most of us have had fleece jackets and love our fleece jackets. And then the outer shell, well, that just keeps me dry and warm if it's really miserable. Okay, so basic, straightforward stuff here. And then, of course, I'll wear an insulated beanie or gloves if it's really miserable, but you get the idea. Okay, the value of thinking of this as a system, though. Okay, my outer shell. This is a Columbia Fire Ridge. Okay, I've had this forever. When I say forever, 20 plus years. I bought this actually for fishing years ago. Believe it or not, if you're out in a bass boat running down a lake in the wintertime and it's below freezing and you're doing 60 miles an hour and the sun's not up, it gets chilly. Really chilly. So I needed something to wear so I didn't freeze to death. Well, that's when I got this and I found out I absolutely loved it. And just to show you how long I've had this, the liner for this was actually a fleece jacket. That's the first fleece jacket I ever owned. Okay, yeah, I had it a long time. That's when fleece was just getting popular. Okay, helped out tremendously. And I even keep this in the truck year round because this is a great rain jacket in the summertime, water resistant. All right, but it's time for me to replace this now. All right, it's no longer nearly as water resistant as it once was. All right, so I'm looking for specifically an outer shell. Okay, and there were a few things I didn't like about this. It wasn't useful for everything I did. Okay, so this is nylon. Well, it's noisy. so it wasn't useful for hunting. It's bright colors, and blue's not especially good to wear hunting. Bright colors aren't especially good for hunting. Okay, so I want to replace this now with something that I can use for more things. So I want an outer shell, hooded, non-insulated. That's what the insulating layer is for. I want it waterproof, or at least water resistant. I want it in natural colors, and I want it quiet. Okay, well, when I find that, and I'm looking, I can wear that for pretty much anything. And it needs to look decent too. Okay, well then all of my activities in really cold weather, I'm covered. That one shell would fit perfectly with the rest of my system. It would integrate into it. Okay, and because of thinking of it as a system, we can make improvements as we go. Okay, I had no clue that this was going to end up being part of my system from now on when I bought it, or for the next 20-something years, 25 plus. All right, it just happened that way. All right, but now that I'm thinking about it as a system, I'm thinking, okay, what improvements can I make on this? All right, well, that's huge, because how many coats are out there? I mean, seriously, if you had to go buy a new coat tomorrow, winter coat, there's umpteen different types. Okay, well, I just eliminated 98% of them, 99% of them. So I don't have to go through and think about all the insulated winter coats and the down coats and, all the different type of winter coats. I just need an outer shell with a hood that's water resistant, natural colors, quiet. Anyway, that makes it simpler. And then I'm improving on it as I go, versus if I was to just go buy a coat at random. Well, I'm starting at scratch again. Okay, we'll get the coat. Okay, well, yeah, I don't really like it for this, or yeah, I like it for that, or you get the idea. Okay, and then from a fleece, I just made an upgrade on my fleece. Okay, I have been wearing this Under Armour fleece for a while now. Maybe 10 years. Okay, and it's very quiet. Natural colors, have been very functional. It has served me well. There's a few things about it I didn't like. Okay, the cuffs, there's no elastic in the cuffs, so it could be a little drafty when the wind's blowing and it's cool outside. And it was a little thin. Okay. So, needing to replace it. I mean, it's looking a little threadbare now. Mrs. River calls it shoddy. I call it broken in, but potato. But anyway. Okay, so I needed to replace it, and I mentioned, hey, it's time for me to shop for some clothes. I ain't got a choice at this point. Bought me a new fleece jacket. Okay, well, this one is a heavier jacket than the Under Armour. It's a denser material. Okay, so it's warmer. Same color, still quiet and all that. I've got really heavy cuffs on this one. Okay, and then when I zip it up, all right, it's got the drawstrings at the neck. Okay, this is pretty warm here. I have really been happy with this. And this is actually a military surplus, Eastern European. They had them on sale at Midway USA. Okay. And the only reason I'm even mentioning that is because I have been really happy with this, if anybody's looking for a new fleece jacket. Okay, well, again, I knew what I wanted there. I wasn't just randomly trying different items. I was taking what I'd already had in my system, thinking, okay, how can this be just a little bit better? And then I found this, and it's just a little bit better. Okay, so by thinking of it as a system, I'm making incremental improvements. Even what I said about the boots, okay, My old pair of boots were 9-inch boots. I just got a pair of 7-inch. I don't know that that's an improvement, but I wanted to just try the shorter boot and see if I liked it better. All right, that's the only thing I really changed on my boot. Okay, it was the same way here. I can make subtle changes just to see if something's better, but I'm not starting from scratch every time I need to go buy a new item of clothing. Now keep in mind everything I just said here about specific pieces of clothing here. Okay, this works for me and my lifestyle. This isn't for everybody, and I'm not saying everybody should go get these items. The big thing is just having a system, again, so we're not reinventing the wheel every time we need a new jacket or a new coat. We can make incremental improvements. Okay, now with that said, I'm hoping to hear from some of you because it has gotten so hard to find clothing now. For myself, I'm in a small town. I don't have many places to shop locally, not many choices. So that leads me to shopping online. Well, that's getting more and more difficult now. Amazon, they're pushing their brands, Amazon Basics or whatever items they're making the most money on. And it's getting difficult to find anything on there. Google, same thing. They're pushing the companies that are paying them to push their companies, basically. All right, it's almost to the point you have to know exactly the specific jacket you're looking for if you want to find that jacket. Okay, and what I said, all the characteristics I want in an outer shell now. It's tough to find a jacket or shell with all of those characteristics. So quiet and waterproof or water resistant. That's a tough combination right off. Then the built-in hood and a natural color. All right. So, hey, I'm hoping some of you have a recommendation for just such a shell. Right now, I'm thinking about an old Army M65 field jacket, olive drab. I had one when I was real young, and I just remember really liking it. I mean, it's just a great jacket. Okay, well, I figured the fleece will make a great liner for it, and then it'll take care of everything I just said. All right. Problems at finding one of them. I've looked at a few. There's several manufacturers out there producing them, but then the reviews are all over the place for those. Who knows anymore? All right, but I will, as I try items in the future, I will post what I thought about them. Or if I find something I'm really happy with, I'll share that anyway. Just like this fleece here I found on Midway. The only reason I mention it is so rare now for me to find something that I'm really happy with when I get it. So I thought this was worth mentioning. Side note, the only downside to this, the zipper's on the wrong side. The handle, it's on the left-hand side instead of the right. Apparently that's a thing in Eastern Europe. All right, that didn't take but a second to get used to, and yes, I have been very happy with this. Okay, now, something else to ponder. While I was shopping for clothes, I did get to thinking, how should a Christian dress? And this isn't necessarily for Christians, but as a Christian, it's something I thought about. And there's no one way, but anyway, that's just a deep topic there. A few things pop to mind instantly. Modestly, humbly, I think's good. And I say this because as Christians, we are supposed to be different. Okay, we're not supposed to necessarily just follow in all of the ways of the world. I think that applies to clothing now. And I talked to my pastor about this. My pastor, he's a pretty good guy. And one thing he said that I thought was really good was dress appropriate for the situation, whatever you're doing. And also keep in mind, if you're claiming to be a Christian, that you're representing a king. Dress appropriately for that. I thought that was pretty good there. And So, yeah, there's so many directions we can go with this. We're not getting caught up into trying to look better than everybody else, trying to look like we're something we're not. Yeah, there's so many places we could go with that one, but hopefully we'll get back to that topic here one day, because that is an interesting one. Okay, I think I covered it on the clothing system, the integrated clothing system. Again, I'm looking forward to hearing some comments on this one. God bless and have a great evening.